What is going on, people? Welcome to the Gunner Niche. My name is Ron, and first and foremost, I'd like to thank you people for supporting me in the previous videos. The views, the likes, and also the subscriptions have been massive, and thank you so much, and may God bless you in everything that you do. To begin with, I'd like to talk about Arsenal versus Crystal Palace. It was the Premier League opener on Friday last night, and it was a really exciting game. Of course, Arsenal winning 2-0, but the win was not coming easily because Newcastle really put up a fight. If you look at the statistics that Crystal Palace put in that game, it was impressive. Actually, I'd say they were more impressive than Arsenal. We were lucky to get a win. We got goals from Martinelli and an own goal from Gay off a cross from Xhaka. So it doesn't matter. We scored, so that's what matters. There's a lot of things that I really noted in that game. Crystal Palace in the first half, of course, we were dominating the game, but then we were not creating any real chance. So we were not able to hurt Crystal Palace enough, and that really caused us trouble in the second half. Because in the second half, Crystal Palace they actually bossed us in the midfield and almost in all departments, and it was really tough for us. The possession, Arsenal generally we had 56%. Crystal Palace had was it 44? Yeah, 44. And in the first half is where we dominated Crystal Palace, and when we dominated, we had a possession of about 56, and Crystal Palace had 54. And in the second half, where Palace had us, where they wanted us, they actually had 68% in possession, and we had 32, which only shows how tough the game was for us, and we were really lucky to keep the win. Because I remember Ramsdale really rent us out when it was Eze who remained one-on-one with Ramsdale. Then Ramsdale was able to pull off a very good save, and that was very impressive. Actually, that was a match-winning save, and at the end of the day, we had the win. Actually, we had 10 shots against Crystal Palace, 10-2. So that can really show you how close the game was. The main thing I'd really like to talk about is individual players, how they played, and that is Xhaka, Saliba, and Zinchenko. Those are the people who had things to note in the game. To begin with, I'd like to talk about Saliba. Actually, Saliba was the man of the match. We've been hearing when he was on loan that Saliba was doing very well, and he was putting in man of the match performances, and we were like, really, is that really what we are missing? And we were like, okay, that's the French league, we don't know whether he's going to do the same in the Premier League. But now, guys, guess who's back in the Premier League? William Saliba. Let me know in the comments what you think about Saliba, how he's going to perform throughout the rest of the season. Is he going to maintain the same performance that he put in yesterday? Just to mention the stats that he put in yesterday, Saliba had 100% take-ons completed, 100% aerial duels. So he won all his take-ons and he won all his aerial duels. He completed 49 passes. I mean, he attempted 49 passes but completed 47. That makes about 94% pass accuracy. He had 7 ball recoveries, 6 passes into the final box, and 6 clearances. Saliba actually won 3 duels, and he was not dribbled past. So any player who attempted to dribble past Saliba was unsuccessful. So that can really tell you what kind of a talent we have in our hands. I can't really wait to see the rest of the season how Saliba is going to fare on. No doubt he's going to the World Cup and he's going to be a starter for France. Let me know in the comments if you think Saliba is going to be a starter in France. Actually, we did not concede, and that is a very impressive show, because in the last two games that we played with Crystal Palace, we actually conceded more than 2 goals. I mean, we actually conceded at least 2 goals in the previous matches that we played with them. So we can see is it the Saliba effect at Arsenal, or or we just generally played well? Let me know in the comments. So Saliba never committed any foul, and that was very impressive. So I don't want to overstate what Saliba has done in the match, and all I can say is that we have a massive talent. We've seen people comparing him to Rio Ferdinand, and it's really impressive. If he can keep up the performance, then wow, what a player, what a treat you are going to have as Arsenal fans. The next player I'd really like to talk about is Zinchenko. Actually, Zinchenko put in a very good performance. I'd say he was the second best player in the match. Okay, Anderson also had a very good match, but then he lost, so we don't have to talk about it. So Zinchenko was another player who was very impressive. He provided an assist. You remember the header when he played the ball back into the box, and it was very, very impressive because Martinelli was able to get a goal off it. In the first half, Zinchenko created the most chances, that is 2 chances. No other player created more, and he also had the most touches in the first half. Not any other player made those kind of touches in the first half, so that can tell you the kind of player that we have. I think the signings that we've had in the summer are really going to pay, because Jesus also had a very good match, but I don't want to delve into Jesus' performance. We can spare it for another show. One player that I really needed to talk about in details was Granit Xhaka. Well, for the Arsenal fan base, we know this Crystal Palace fixture is normally a tough one for Xhaka, owing to the fact that he threw the armband. You remember how many years ago? Probably 3 years ago or 4, when he threw the armband to the floor after having a very bad game, and we booed him off the pitch when he was being subbed, and he overreacted and that. But then that is not the only reason why Xhaka is controversial. We've seen Xhaka make very irrational decisions. Many times he's made decisions that have made us doubt his maturity in the game, and I don't know if Xhaka is ever going to mature, because he's already 29 years. So when is he going to mature? Do you think Xhaka should continue playing for Arsenal? Let me know in the comments. Is Xhaka really the player for Arsenal? Because personally, I think Xhaka is not the player that will take us forward. He's been here for a very long time, and his mistakes doesn't seem to change. Well, last game was not one of his worst, but again it wasn't one of his best again, and that is the Xhaka we are used to. He doesn't seem to mature, and he gets booked so easily. You remember when he ran past Anderson, then he threw himself to the floor trying to win. I don't know what he was trying to win there, but he actually dived in. He should have just gone, and he could have probably scored, but then he made the wrong decision. For a mature player, I think that is not right, and that is how he invited pressure on himself, and then after that he was never seen again in the game, because now he was booked and he was afraid to play. And then another thing I noted about Xhaka, he always seemed to slow down our attack. When you're attacking, Xhaka gets the ball, he slows it down. Sometimes he plays back passes, and that was not very impressive and not what I liked about him. So that brings us to the fact that we need an upgrade on Xhaka's position, number 8. We've had very many links about Yuri Tielemans coming to Arsenal, and I think this is the time now we put an end to that rumors. Mikel Arteta, are you hearing? Get us Yuri Tielemans or Milinkovic-Savic, whomever you can get. We could really use him. So owing to the performance of Xhaka in the game, there was a lot of comments from the fans from Twitter. Like Haley Bethel said, but if these stats are anything to go by, he didn't stand a chance with Taylor reffing the game. I don't think it's about Taylor reffing the game. It's about how Xhaka plays. And for the fans to say that it's because Taylor was reffing the game, Xhaka didn't stand a chance, I don't think that's really right, to be honest. Another fan, Highbury Profile, said the Arsenal factor is on Arsenal. He drives the team and makes it tick. I don't know why people criticize him a lot. You don't know why people criticize him a lot, but then you don't, what I'd say, you don't know what you're talking about, because Xhaka is not the Arsenal factor. The Arsenal factor is Thomas Partey. Did you see how he played, despite the fact that Crystal Palace fans were booing him left, right and center, but then he was keeping his cool and making things work in the midfield? I'll ask you, what did Xhaka do in the pitch yesterday? I thought so too. James Finn said the whole team is very silky to watch except this guy. Play Alex Z, I bet that is Alexander Zinchenko. Play Alex Z in CM and Tini in left back. I agree totally. That would be a very nice move, Arteta. Mikel Arteta, do you listen to that? And then Agido, this man owed the world 3 red cards this season. Do you think so? Let me know in the comments if you think Xhaka owes us 3 reds in this season. And finally, Tinai was able to say, I like the links who get those cards. It shows he is up for the duty. That's why it's called dirty work. For Xhaka, really, I don't think it's dirty work. Xhaka doesn't seem to understand what he's doing. He just does things because he's able to do them, but then he doesn't do them right. It's not about getting yourself booked. It's about you getting yourself booked, saving a situation, not just getting booked for the sake of it. So those are some of the things that we learned from the game. Let me know in the comments, and please let me know in the comments your thoughts about the game, and please subscribe to my channel, and let's continue growing. Keep it the Gunner niche. Bye bye.